Good morning. Let's see the table. My other table. Oh, no, that's not gonna work. And okay.
Sanders just called Gilbert in, so they're coming over from the gym, but they don't maybe get up over here.
They do, but I record it, so I'm thinking that that's a good thing. But, and we may go back home. I know Mac Oswald, so I need to get his number, that's the call. If you could get it for me, that would be awesome.
How am I gonna set that? So we'll start in about 4 minutes. Perfect.
So you can like log on and do it later.
Yeah. Good morning. If I do this, you can.
What are we doing today?
Well, we're starting the live.
But I don't know if anybody's gonna come. Yeah, I know Matt wants.
Sorry, that's not. But, I told them I'd still record it for them,
Oh, yes.
so that they could get it.
Oh, good.
So we'll see, if nobody wants to show, that's fine. We'll keep doing it online.
Well, we will, yeah, but, yeah, and we also wanna maybe do something, give me a write-up on Facebook, so I can put something on Facebook about the classes.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have you and Linda who, for the most, just have one or two people, and corporate doesn't want me to have classes with only one or two people in it.
Okay.
So if we can get more people excited, you
Yeah.
know, and more people coming,
Yeah.
then we can keep going, but in their mind, if people aren't coming, then we need to come up with something else in the class.
So I probably get 15 to 20
In the Zoom one.
on the Zoom,
On the Zoom,
call.
yes,
And, but I go Instagram Live,
yeah,
I've got it, a link to Facebook.
yeah.
And if you want, how could we link that to the Ivory Facebook?
I think if you send it to,
The thing is, I get the link and then it immediately goes.
yes, I know, because I've sent your link before to Brooke, right? And then once I send it, it's like it's not there anymore. But I mean, she gets it. I
Yeah,
don't know how this works.
you know what, let me figure that out. Let me do some study and see if, because I can send it to my Facebook,
And then,
but I don't
But
know if I
you're-
can send it to
no, because you're
yours.
not an administrator.
Right.
Yeah.
But if, you know what, maybe Gibby Brooks.
Yes, email.
Yeah,
Or, yeah,
email,
if you
and
just-
I can send it to her, and even if I talk to her and say, hey, this is when it's coming,
Oh, can you text it?
I can text it to her too.
Because she can from her text, I'll find out.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
Okay. It is finally 8 o'clock. We're gonna start. You got to hear all of our housekeeping stuff. Yeah. So, anyway, alrighty. I'm gonna close the door and then we'll start. Good morning. All righty, here we are. We're live at Ivory Swim and Tennis Club. This is where this class originated. In 2009 is when I started this class. I had people reach out to me and say they wanted to go live. No one has showed, but I've got 5 on live here this way. So, and then some of you aren't members, and I get that. This needs to be turned just a little. So, I will still post this. You'll still have the opportunity to, it'll still be on YouTube. You can see that there's a little bit more of an echo in here. Let's make sure my volume's up. Duh. Yeah, it is. So reach out, tell me if you'll like it. If not, that's okay. Let's do some yoga. So I kind of set it up so that you can see my feet, so that you can see me when I stand up. So hopefully this works. This is really weird to be in this big, big room with no bodies. So as we practice today, it's Valentine's. You can't do a Valentine's week and not talk about love, right? And the gift that love is, the gift that we are to each other. So as we practice today, I hope you will just, sometimes giving love is easier than receiving love. And so if you'd even have the thought of letting someone else give you love and accepting it. I haven't always been very good at this. Somebody paid me a compliment and, oh yeah, no, I don't look very good, or no. I've really tried to stop doing that, because for them to reach out and give that compliment, it was a gift. How dare I, right, refuse it? So, as we practice, close your eyes, breathe. Let the breath wash over. Let it be a part of you. This past week, I've been at the beach in California. I love the beach. And as we sit just in a chair or in the sand or on a rock or on the wall, just one of the things I really noticed about myself was this sense of peace that just starts to permeate. And it is a lot has to do with that rhythm, the in and the out. Our breath mirrors that. So find that breath, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Letting your body start to respond to the in and the out of the breath. The inhale and the exhale. The ebb and the flow. The giving and the receiving. So for me on the breath, the inhale is kind of the giving, but the exhale it's the receiving. Or you can think of the inhale as coming in. It is the gift that is given. And the exhale is, or the gift that is received, sorry. And the exhale is the gift that you're giving. Continue to breathe. Every class starts with a breathing exercise. This is a pretty easy one, just an inhale. And an exhale. And an inhale. And an exhale. So one of my experiences of giving and receiving happened when my kids were teenagers. I remember one year, one daughter, every gift she got for Christmas was taken back. And I felt like a failure. So there was a problem with my giving and her receiving, but there was also a problem with her response to my giving for me. And that I wasn't okay if she didn't like something for her to take it back. And so that it goes both ways. Someone might give you something that you really don't want, need, have a place for. How do you receive a gift like that? Because we're going to have some of those in our lives, some things we're not so excited about receiving. Continuing to have the breath go in and out. Maybe we can even go to the place that just the moving that happens in this class, the inhale and the exhale, maybe even that we struggle to receive. Maybe the movement of our shoulders, there's a pain over here, and we don't like how that feels, and so we just stop moving because it's painful. So there's so many ways. Maybe we don't pay attention to how this gift feels when we receive it, and we just kind of take it for granted. I don't know if you've ever given a gift that way, when they're like, oh, thanks. And that's it, you know, and you kind of, it's real casual. Do we do that? So finding that breath, recognizing that we are going to move this glorious body today. And find out kind of what kind of a gift am I giving? And what kind of a gift is this body to me? Okay, so kind of a double level, a little deeper down. Gift of receiving. Go ahead and blink open your eyes. They've been closed for a bit. We will get this glorious sunrise, although I don't know if we'll see much of it today. Go ahead and find your body, just a little bit of cat-cow, right? I'll turn sideways so you can see that. Just a little bit of that curl back bend, right? And then here is just the opposite. Oh, yeah. And then here is just the opposite. And here. Now, these chairs are harder than the ones I have at home. And I had the thought, if you're on a chair that is hard, you are welcome to take it. It feels it's hard on your sit bones and your rear end. Take and put, but just come so that you're right on the very edge. You'll notice that just that little added oomph might really make your back. So it's like a gift you've given to your spine, right? To just be up a little higher. Continuing the cat-cow, the gentle forward and back movement. And then let's take shoulder to ear, or ear to shoulder, You can bring it up a little if you want. And then your other shoulder and bring it up. I don't know about you, but sometimes in the mornings my neck is stiff. Roll it forward, chin down, and roll to the other side. And then even let the chin reach up. And then take it to the other side. And down. So we're making a little circle, but we're doing it like in quarters. And then let's go the other direction. Go this way. And go down. And go side. And go back. Notice your neck. I just reversed it again. Reverse it again. Notice that when I have my chin up, you can still hear my voice. So it means I'm not doing a total collapse because then you can't hear. So there's still a lift. It's almost like I've got a shelf back there and I'm pushing, into that. Beautifully done. And go ahead. A couple more, one more each side. How's that? And then back up, and then over and down and around. And then just bring it up. Go ahead and look over one shoulder. And come back. Notice that that's a different activity for the neck. Good morning. How are you? We had one body join us. Keep going over one shoulder and then over the next. How you doing?
Good for you. I can get this first book. That's fine. Keep on.
I didn't set, usually I have that stuff out for you, but I didn't set it up because I wasn't sure.
No, there was some.
Yeah. So, making sure we're giving the gift, right, of just movement and recognizing. We often, if you don't need that blanket, but if you feel like I like it a little bit up. So maybe you're like, I don't even think of that as a gift, Debbie, that I can move. Like, have you ever had a crink in your neck and you go to move and you're like you can't see? Then all of a sudden you recognize, right, what a gift that is to just be moving side to side. Go ahead, beautifully done. Let's do a little bit more work with the neck. Take an arm, bring it up. Now remember, when we're here, we're never really pushing down with our hand, but there is pressure, and we are pushing our head back into the hand, and the hand pushes back, okay? It's not, you notice there's not a ton of movement, but there is work going on. Now I want you to take this opposite shoulder, arm out. Okay, so whichever, and then go ahead and lift the shoulder up and then depress it. So it's like the shoulder blade is pulling down and you can pull it down. Oh, that's a stretch. And take it up and pull it down. You still got a little bit, I know, you gotta be a little coordinated here, right? Because it's like, oh, I forget to pull. But feel that stretch. Okay, up and down the back. So as often as we can, we don't want to live up here. That's kind of a contracted neck muscle and back muscle. There's nothing wrong with contracting, but if all we do is contract, we're going to get tighter and tighter. So you want to pull that down and then switch to the other side. And lift it up and depress the shoulder. You can use your arm to do that, but watch. I can lift and depress the shoulder without even lifting the arm. Pressure into that hand, just trying to lift the head back up, but the hand isn't going to let it. Up and down, up and down, beautifully done. Now, we talked about, just this, we can't have Valentine's Day without this gift of love, right? Okay, so we're going to actually put one hand here and the other on top. It is a mudra. Yeah, it's a mudra of the heart, duh. Go ahead and close your eyes. But I want you to feel pressure. One hand is pushing you to that sternum chest. The other is pushing into the hand. Feel that. Notice what happens to the spine. Go ahead and release it, and you can feel that maybe there's a little bit of a forward motion. So here, we're pushing back just a little bit. It's going to make your spine, you're going to feel more weight on the sit bones as you come back. Notice that when you do that, the head kind of comes forward. So let it lengthen back as well. So there's this pressure going back, breathing, inhale. You can open your eyes, you can close your eyes, but notice, for me, I get a deeper breath than when I'm here. Okay, go ahead and lean forward. Just take the lean, take a deep inhale. It's a little limited. So when we pull back, and if you're like, the only way to remember is, let's put a hand on my chest and push it back to help get them back in there, right? Notice that deeper inhale. It's fabulous. And then release. Beautifully done. Okay. So we're actually going to work into the arms today and the hands. Go ahead and make a fist, both hands, tight as you can. Okay. Turn it down. Bring it back up. Turn it down. Bring it back up. Turn it down. Stretching all along. You can feel it up into the forearm. Bring it back, push it down, bring it back. Now you'll notice my elbows are about the same height. Yeah. Now, pull the shoulders up, and then pull the shoulders down to do this. Oh, all of a sudden with that down with our hands up, you're gonna feel in between the shoulder blades working a little bit harder. Flex the hands, push as if you're pushing. You're trying to move without your body moving. You're pushing the hands forward, but then they're hitting something. And you can't go any further, but there's still that push forward. Pull the shoulders back even more. So it's like I'm trying to squeeze my shoulder blades together while I'm pushing forward with those hands. I feel this up into my tricep. I feel it in my shoulders and my back. I definitely feel it in my wrists, okay? This is a way to strengthen our wrists, as well as our back and shoulders, but to strengthen our wrists without really putting weight on them, okay? We often put weight, we can't put much weight on our hands. So you push it forward and at the same time, pull it back. And I'm trying to get as deep a flex in that wrist as I can get. And then release. Roll that out, shake it out, okay? So that's an exercise, that's going to be a little bit of homework. That's an exercise that you can do anywhere, right? You can push against something else. If you want to push against your counter in your kitchen, okay, or a table or something, okay, that's totally doable. But I'd like you to find that sometime today, sometime every day for this next week, and then release. Yeah, well, let's get these. Now, you might not be able to get clear up above. If you're here, working from here, we're going for range of motion. So we're going to do something we haven't done this one before. This is kind of more, let's do one at a time. So, sorry, Dad, if you're on, but walking with my dad is sometimes an adventure because he would walk with little weights in his hand and go for range of motion in his arms. So we'd be walking down the road doing the backstroke. And then of course you've got to do the forward, the freestyle. And this is what, because he knew about range of motion, right? So it's a good thing. And at the same time, though, as young kids, as a teenager especially, it was rather embarrassing. Or at least perceived in my mind, right? So go ahead and take it up and back down. Just take it up. Look at my shoulders. They are not doing this to get it up. Yeah, depress those shoulders. So there's a little pressure on those. They've got the heat piping in here and I can't change it. No, they put a thing on it. Locked it. Yeah, we used to be able to change the heat. It is really warm in here. You're gonna see us start shedding
And
layers.
here I wear my long sleeves.
I know, I put double long sleeves for that reason. Okay, so here we are. Yeah, but one of the things that starts to happen as we move, right, we increase our blood flow. It causes our bodies, oh, good, just shut off, okay? Yeah. Now let's do this, up and back down. So notice, I'm not using any weights, okay? But I'm not just flipping out like this, okay? So it's lifting something, pushing something, lifting something, pushing. I got to see a really dear friend in Temecula, California, and she does training, and she would start at, she's done weights for years. I've done weights for years, but she started just using body weight instead of, and then in California, the gyms are closed, so you can't really go to the gym. And so she's doing her trainings outside, which they can do almost year round. Kind of envious about that one. But so here we're pushing, it's like I'm lifting. Here it's the back of my hands, I'm pushing back. I'm lifting and pull the shoulders down. And as you do this, if you pull the shoulders down, it engages the tricep, the shoulder, some of the bicep muscle, and you're actually it's actually better on the elbow. It's the same principle that we spread through our toes to do stuff with our legs, because we don't want to just be able to hinge at that elbow. We want to be able to, there's no muscle in the elbow. There's muscles that run through it and connect to it. Okay, so what we're trying to do is find that and then release. Go ahead and roll through those shoulders. That is some work, okay? Those are things I really would do every day. Yeah. Michelle's over here doing some side stretches. She's like, I need to do this. I would love, to me, that's the gift of receiving when we kind of listen to what our body's saying and we go, you know what, and we all need side stretches. So this is kind of what we're gonna do. I want you to just swing, okay? If you've got a chair that gets in the way, just leave your hands like this, just swing. Breathing, that range of motion. Now, if this is really difficult, make it smaller. Totally fine. If you can go a little wider, go a little wider. Just range of motion. So we know, okay, that when we do a twist this way, this muscle contracts, this one extends. And we go this way, this one contracts. So we're just contracting waistline, okay? Can anybody feel that in your back? Yeah, back loves this. Try to stabilize the back. When we're seated like this, much easier to do so. So just finding that twist. Now go ahead, come up over. Okay, you can't get your arm up above, your shoulder lifted, you're fine right here. But if you can, hand behind the head, push, head back, reach the elbow, and come up. Now, one of the things we tend to do is this shoulder moves back. Try to pull it right forward. It's not lifted up, but it's not back behind. Okay, and find that side body stretch. And then we're just gonna come in and out. Okay, if you can, go ahead and reach your arm so it's like 12 o'clock. It's like the hand on the clock. And even as you go over to the side, it's gonna stay up in the air. Okay, make sense? Yeah. See if you can pull that shoulder a little forward. So you're really getting a fabulous side stretch. And then go ahead and let it come back. So we're gonna do a little bit of clockwork with our hands today. That is a fabulous one for your deltoid. It also gets right underneath. So come on. Go ahead and start here for just some of that movement, that initial stretch. This also for here. Now again, you might be here. If you're at, what would that be? 12, 9, or 3, right? Then that's fine too. But if you can, maybe you can reach to 12 o'clock. And keep it at 12 o'clock, and your body is moving to the side. It's almost like, hey, somebody's got a hold of my hand, right? And they're reaching up, and then release and come back, okay? So, we're gonna start at 12, we're gonna go to 11, we're gonna go to 10, maybe you can get 9, okay? Or if you're like Debbie, because it's always reversed here, okay? And then we'll do the other one, and it would be, instead of 11, 10, 9, it would be 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, and come back up, okay? So whichever it is, 1, there, and if that's where you stay, that's where you stay. Notice I'm not letting that hip lift up. I'm pulling down with that hip. It's getting stretched into the rib cage. Maybe you can come to a 3. I'm watching myself get that 3. That's a stretch. Take it up, go 1, and 1 more, and maybe 1 more. Not letting the hip lift, right? Pull down on that opposite hip. That is just fabulous. So that gets into the, go ahead and release. It gets into the QL here. Yeah. Okay. Most of our low back issues come because we're either tight in the hips or we're tight, we just are tight elsewhere. And so that low back just kind of contracts and doesn't get the stretch. All right. So notice that we're working kind of from the head down today. We'll get to the feet, but grab your block. We have balls here on the floor. It may just roll off, but that's okay. With your block, I'd like you to bring it right here, as close to your belly as you can get it on your thighs. Now, you notice this is the low way. Maybe you can do here. Don't do this way, okay? So keep it here or here, and you're gonna come up and over. Actually, take it low. I want the ribs to get right down on that block if you can. Move your arms. They can actually come down. If you need them here, it's fine here. Can you feel the stretch in the low back? Stretch out that low back. This block is making the spine just lengthen a little bit more. Tuck your chin. I keep coming up because you can't hear me if I tuck my chin to my chest. Okay, so as you pull forward, really push the weight into that block, and then at the same time, there's like a suction cup on your low back pulling towards the wall behind you. Okay, so as you've got that going, you've got that stretch. Use your feet, would you? Push down into the floor, push the feet forward. Now I don't really want you moving the hips back. They may start to slide a little bit. If they do, you're pushing a little too hard. Tuck your chin. Let your head come as low as you can. If you feel any pressure in the temples, in the forehead, behind the eyes, don't go so far, okay? So pulling that down, reaching, stretching, finding that stretch in the low back. And then bring the hands to the thighs, unwind, come back up, okay? That's a fabulous low back. You can use pillows. Okay, the block is a little better than the pillows because it's hard and it doesn't give. A pillow will give. So if you're having some low back issues, please stretch it out this way instead of sitting on a couch and just letting the collapse happen. Okay, that will actually make your low back hurt worse. Okay, so one more time so that you can understand the block's right into there. You're coming up and over. Now, you may say, I've got a belly, it gets in the way. Great. That belly in the way here is going to give you more pushback. Okay? So you're just coming to where you can feel that. Okay? Maybe you get your hands all the way down your shins to your ankles. Okay? Maybe you can do that. Can you hear my voice changing a little bit? Yeah. Go ahead and breathe back. Now push down and forward with your feet. Because of just that initial down and forward, Newton's law says there's going to be an opposite reaction. It's actually going to be in the low back here. And it will give you that stretch that you need. Take a couple of deep breaths and you're like, Debbie, breathing deep is almost impossible here. And then come back up. Now, go ahead and lose the block. Let's try it with that. Wow. Go ahead, a little bit of cat-cow here. Just round. Ooh, yeah. So one of the things the body is adaptable. Okay? And one of the things it does that's so amazing is because we stretch that out, we now have more range of motion, okay? Go ahead and come up to the 12 o'clock with one hand, okay? Take it here. This one's holding on. This shoulder up and around, okay? Up, you're like it's a twist. Now, as you twist, the knees don't go with you. They stay, you're still pushing, and you'll notice here, if you have a problem with that, if you look down and says, I can't keep them, put a block there, okay? So twist now into the low back. I want you to tuck your tailbone just a little bit so that you're stretching. It's like there's those suction cups on the low back, pulling back towards the wall just a little as you twist open. The chin, okay, you're not cranking it around, but you can turn it towards the back a little bit and then come back. That should feel marvelous, okay? Here we go. 12 o'clock with the opposite arm. Take it over, shoulder up and around, holding, twist. Yeah, and then try to feel. Notice, I'm not really doing a cat. I'm not really getting that. But there's the tiniest little tuck with the tailbone that helps pull back, and it actually helps me twist a little deeper. Take a couple of deep breaths. You're like, Debbie, I can't breathe deep. I know. And gently release. Yeah. Pause, close your eyes, and see about that gift that you've just given your spine, the muscles around the spine. Okay, and if as you're breathing here, you notice that there's a difference, have a little bit of gratitude for that difference. That's the receiving, okay? We want to make sure we cannot control how someone else receives our gift, but we can control how we receive the gifts that we're given. Okay, all right. Grab your ball. Let's get going on the feet. Yeah, you said, but Debbie, we're gonna go all the way down. We kind of stopped right here. Yeah, we kind of have to start and come up this way, and then we'll get in there, okay? So, yeah, find, this hasn't changed. You're looking for places. I know that there's a couple new people that have joined us, okay? You are looking, it is a racquetball. I get them at Walmart. You can order them online if you're not out shopping. You can find them a lot of places, okay? Target, I don't know if Best Buy would have some, but like a hardware store might even have some. You can find them at Smith's, you can find them. So you're just finding those places that are tender. Go ahead and see if you can spread through your toes as much as possible. Let them stick out, okay? Hands are easier to spread than toes. Okay, but ooh, our toes would love. Now, you'll notice here, my big toe, when I spread them, my big toe drops. I keep trying to bring it up.
Mine just drops at mine goes
Yours
up.
lifts. Yeah, so we have some things like that. Notice that this ball is right kind of underneath the top of the arch towards the ball of the foot. And stretch and spread. And my hands always do this as my toes do. Totally fine, okay? Just really concentrate on spreading those toes as wide as they can. And then go ahead and you're gonna come back till you've got the toes around, and then we're gonna roll over onto our toes, okay? We used to do this without the ball. It's a little more intense that way. So you're stretching top of the arch of the foot into these knuckles. When was the last time you did that? And you're like, Debbie, last week we did yoga. But that is a movement we lose as we age, is that we want that stretch. Can you see how it's white? we're restricting some of the blood flow, okay? A lot of yoga poses do that. And the reason for that is when we come out, the body goes whoosh and pumps it in, okay? This is fabulous if you have diabetes, neuropathy, okay? Try the other ankle, or the other, that's a foot. Go ahead, just find those tight places first. You don't have to worry about the toes here. You can go, mine always pretty much are right around the arch of my foot. I think that might be because the arch isn't right down on the floor, or if that hurts and your arch is down on the floor, it's because you've got a flat foot, right? I remember the story that Rolf Gates told. He is a yogi back. I met him back in New York. I actually met him in Salt Lake, but then I studied with him in Salt Lake and then went back when we were traveling. But anyway, he said that he's a ex-Marine, ex-football player, college football player. Like, he's a big dude. And the first class he went into, his yoga teacher told him, "Oh, you've got flat feet." And he's like, "I did not," you know? He had a little bit of that. And so receiving, even sometimes, that kind of thing. Okay, go ahead. Bottom of the arch, or top of the arch, bottom of the ball of the foot. Stretch and spread those toes as wide as you can. Yeah, so this one, if you can see up close, this is that broken toe from 2 years ago that I still can't, it doesn't stretch anymore, okay? So it kind of just hangs there, which is okay. I still, doctor said that there would be some lack of range of motion, so I create range of motion for it, but it doesn't respond. So if you've got one of those, totally fine. It's hard. Can we receive that, or can we go, "Oh, that's so stupid, you stupid toe"? No, we don't. Okay, come pull it back. Okay, toes around the ball, or just pressing into the top of the ball, and then roll up and over. Let the toes, if they can, come all the way to the floor. You're gonna feel that stretch. Go ahead and let it happen. Just let it happen. Do you need a mat? Is that hard on your toes on the wood? Okay, I just had that thought. Okay, and just fine. Look at it, see the white of the knuckles, and then release and let that blood flow just surge. Okay, receiving the gift of that blood. Beautifully done. Put the ball away for a sec. Grab your block. We're going to stretch out the ankle and the calf. Okay, so this one is here. The ball of the foot is on the block. We're reaching the heel towards the floor. I will turn sideways so that you can see this one. So I have a dear friend that's had some knee issues, had a meniscus kind of surgery, and she's got some swelling on the knee. And anyway, we were talking the other day while we were walking, and we just talked about some of the things you could do for that knee. So spread through those toes. Okay, you got a knee issue when you're walking, see if those toes can spread in. What you automatically create is an engagement, but it does. Because the toes are spreading, there's an engagement of the shin muscle. Because of the engagement of the shin muscle, the knee has a little bit more of a cushion for it, okay, when we walk. Okay. Go ahead and take a lean forward. Yeah, now push back into your hips, push into your heel. So all we're doing with this lean is creating more weight for that calf muscle to get stretched. Anybody feel that? Not on their calf, maybe. And then go ahead and release and try the second side. I'll do it from the front this time. Okay. If you've got a blanket, you might need to readjust. It's okay. Pull up that foot, heel comes down. Remember that I'm at a 90-degree angle in the knee. Spread through those toes. Reach the heel down. Now I have one foot that's shorter than another. You might have that issue. So on my right side, I don't get as deep a stretch because I can't get the heel down. That's when this lean really, really becomes helpful. Spread through those toes. They're not crunched. They're not working. Okay, they may not be able to stretch as much as you had them before. That's okay, but there's that engagement. Then it contracts the shin, protects the knee. Take that lean forward. Notice we're just holding the lean. Yeah. Breathe, and then come back. We'll do both ankles. We should have done the other first, but we'll do. Come up and let it drop. And come up and let it drop. Okay, you can totally, if you have the capacity to hold this with your quadricep muscle, you can totally lift and do this. But if that starts to cramp here, then you're doing it on the block. So either one, gives you that range of motion, okay? And you want to go both directions. If you start, you can do it, and then you start to feel this cramp, and you want to finish here, that's also fine, okay? Second side. Range of motion, or maybe you pick it up and go both directions, okay? Oh, it just is so marvelous. Can you feel the gift you're giving your body this morning? Just moving, beautifully done. Okay, so this is, the block is here. We're gonna get into the hips. If this is difficult, okay, then use a block. So if you can't get your leg up and crossed over, and a lot of people can't, okay, you are not the only one. But if you can do this, we're gonna just move in and out of this. Body is trying to stay straight while I just lift the knee and pull it down. Lift the knee. Now, I want you to show what normally kind of happens is we sickle on this standing foot. So would you push, and you're gonna have to push down a little on the inside edge. So on that big toe to the heel line. Because if that's the part that we notice the difference. It's like, oh, well, and you might not get as much movement, but it's so much better to practice that. Okay, now if you can't do that, you can stay there, and you can actually, we've done up and down, now you're gonna go forward and back. Ooh, and forward and back, that's my hip. So if you can't get there, you're here, and you can just do the up and down with the knee. It is a little more side to side, it's okay. But you're still watching this foot, it's not here, and this is moving, you're really planting the opposite foot while you do that, okay? And if that's too high, yeah, you bring it down. All right, so same leg, we're gonna fatigue this muscle a little bit, okay? Wherever you need this block, and it can be here if you want, okay? This foot's staying the same, we're gonna go up and over, and over. Quadricep work, up and over. Now, this also is gonna wanna do this. So push it down, up and over, and up and back, up and over, yeah. This is fabulous work. Notice if you're here with your body, try to hold it still. One more, up and back, yeah. Can you feel that? Woo, just wiggle that out. You can wiggle both of them as you wiggle out. So wiggling is okay when we're, to just kind of feel that. When we're working a specific area, if we are not aware of what the other side of our body is doing, okay? Go ahead, other one comes up, you can cross it over here, right? And it's just an up and down, but it's not a this, it's just an up and down. The movement may be, notice the weight shifts to the outside, that's very natural. We're just training ourselves to give ourselves the gift of that push down, okay? This strengthens all the way up and affects the pelvic area and our pelvic girdle, which is where our hips reside, okay? So it's an up and down, and an up and down, up, keep going for a little bit, and then it's a forward, back. We do the forward, back. This stretch for sciatica, if you can do it, this work is fabulous, okay? For any of that sciatic pain radiating down the leg, okay? Alrighty, and then come over, this is the opposite, right? So if you're going here, you're still keeping that there, right? So if you can't get this here, then you're here, right? Or here, same thing applies, you're just going for a range of motion in the hip, okay? Alrighty, move it back. Here we go for the work. Up and down, up and down. You can try this, you can go higher if you're allowed, if you can do that. But the key is my body's staying, I'm not collapsing. It's not a this. There's nothing wrong with being able to move, but right now I'm not reaching this knee wide, right? I'm pushing into the inner edge, and you can feel this. You start to go, Okay, how many more of these are we gonna do? We just got a couple, right? And this will be the last one. Woo! And then release and just wiggle. So, I've mentioned this before. Engaging our legs in a chair is the hardest thing to do because we tend to sit, we get that. So using these muscles. Now, the hardest thing, we can do the quads, right? And that's right up into the hip flexors. The hardest thing is to access this, the hamstring. Exactly. So this is one of the easiest. It's awkward. I'll do it forward, then I'll turn to the side. So you're gonna put, your ball of the foot doesn't have to be on, but this foot is anchored on the floor and on the block. And then you're gonna reach your other, you might need to breathe. I need to bring it in a little, okay? Foot here and try to get the heel over the edge of the block, okay? And if you need to, turn the block sideways, okay? So you're pushing, now you're gonna pull back, that's hamstring work, okay? The block may turn, so you're trying to line up the feet, one right behind the other, but you're pulling back. Now, I want you to also squeeze your glute. So squeeze your butt muscle, okay? Let me do it from the side. So I'm constantly looking for ways, kind of fiddling for ways that we can on a chair, okay? So I've got this anchor and I've got this foot and I'm bending the knee slightly and I'm pulling back. That backward motion is hamstring. If you'll tighten the glute just a little bit, it's not a squeeze that does this, but it's enough of a squeeze, you'll actually get and access the entire hamstring, okay? So you're pulling back, you're getting that back of the leg. When we stand up and do our down dogs, you're going to love how this feels, okay? And the fact that we actually worked it first, okay? If you find that you're wiggling, it's okay. It's an awkward position, there's no question. If we had this perfect thing, we'd have a little indent that's glued to the floor, right? That we could put our heel in and just pull back. Go ahead and release that. Come back in and pull it again. Squeeze the glute, release it. Come back in and pull the heel back, squeeze the glute, release it. Pull back, squeeze the glute, yeah. One more, pull back, squeeze that glute, yeah, release. Okay.
That's good.
You feel that, don't you? And you feel it on the outside of the hip. So, second side. We didn't change yet, we're still doing the same side. I'll go to the other side so you guys can see this. Okay, so whichever foot, and sometimes you go, is that the foot I worked? It is, that was the same foot. So change legs. Make sure that it's the opposite leg here. Squeeze back, squeeze the glute. Notice what happens to the leg. When you pull back with the hamstring, you start to feel work here. But the minute you squeeze the glute, that work goes up into the hip. Because the hamstring muscle actually is underneath the glute muscle. The glute is the muscle. Pull that in, yeah. Pull it in. So for a while, we're just holding it, right? We're just contracting, and then go ahead and release, and contract again. So it's pull back with the heel, squeeze the glute. So it's a 1-2 step, ready? Pull back with the heel, squeeze the glute. Pull back with the heel, squeeze the glute. Pull back with the heel, squeeze, you're releasing, right? Release, I should say that. Pull back with the heel, squeeze the glute, release. Pull back with the heel, squeeze the glute, release. A couple more. Pull back with the heel, squeeze the glute. Pull back with the heel, squeeze the glute, and release. You'll also feel that you worked a little bit more on the quadriceps as well. Really well done. Okay. Now we're ready to kind of let's just do sun salutations standing today. I'll show you how. So go ahead and stand up. Move your chair. So you're gonna notice because I'm on the wood floor, I'm actually gonna pick up, they turn that heat on again. It is warm. So make sure that your chair's on something. So I'm gonna grab these. Go on.
Otherwise, it's gonna slip.
Yeah. The chair will slide if you're on a hard surface. Okay. So normally, remember our sun salutations is the forward fold, right, the hands come back. So we're going to use the chair and the wall to do this today. Okay, this will be, okay, try to get totally standing, you're very straightest. And if you want, if you feel totally comfortable with this, go ahead and lift our arms, right? And then we'll actually take the hands out to the side to hit the chair. Step back to find that stretch. Let the hips go as deep as they can. See if you can get your head in between your arms. And notice my back. Oh, sorry, those of you on Instagram, you can't see. I'm going back as far as I can. My hips might go further than the heels if I've got that length. And then you're gonna walk up. But as you walk up, will you walk up with a round? Okay, bend your knees, round it, then stick it out. Come back to the round. Come all the way up. So it's a little bit different than what we've done before. Reach the arms up. Take them out to the side as you hinge. You're gonna come, you can come here and find the hands. Oh, whoops, I'm taking distracted. Walk it back, find that length. Because we just worked the glutes and the hamstrings, this is already warm. Okay? Then you're gonna walk back in, but you're gonna round. See, I'm tucking my tailbone, my body is rounded as I come in. I'm gonna bend the knees, stick it's mooning, right? Moon back, come back to the round, and up to a stand, shoulders on the back. Let's do about 10 of these, okay? These you can do every day. I know all of you have a counter. I know all of you have a chair, and I know everybody has a wall. So these can be done. Inhale up, exhale, hinge. Notice I'm coming down with a flat back already. Walk the feet back. Find the length you need to find that stretch. Go ahead and start the curl. As you walk in, the feet come in, bend the knees, find that extra stick out. And then round it, come all the way up. Inhale. This is number 2. Exhale, fold. Walk it back. Stretch. Round as you walk it in. When you get almost there, right, bend the knees, take it back out. Round it in. Come all the way up. Number 3. The arms are coming out to the side. And again, if you can't get your arms all the way up, go where you can. Reach. Yeah. Round through the spine. Walk it forward. Bend the knees, stick it out, round it back, come all the way up. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, walk it in, exhale, then stick it out. Inhale, curl it up, all the way up, exhale, here we go. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, all the way up, exhale. This feels so good on our bodies. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale, exhale. So if I'm moving faster than you want to, or slower than you want to, you move with your breath. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Notice the exhale's the pause at the end. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Beautifully done. So that's just an overall fabulous work for the body, okay? Now, you can come to the floor. If coming to the floor is easy for you for windshield wipers, okay? If not, you're welcome to get back in your chair. I'll show you both, okay? So here, okay, if you're getting to the floor, use a chair, come down to the knees, come all the way down, right, on the back. Knees fall to one side, inhale up, they fall to the other side. If you've got something in the way, move it. Okay, so you're finding this inhale and this exhale, this inhale and this exhale, and then let your head go opposite the knees. The knees go left, your head goes right. Inhale up, if the knees go right, the head goes left. Up and back down, okay? So that's for those on the floor. If on the floor is just not doable for your back, for your knees, for your body, then you can totally stay on the chair, okay? You're on the edge of the chair, and you're just gonna let the knees go one way, and you're gonna just twist the other way. Then you'll bring the knees back, they'll go this way, and they'll twist this way. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Notice you're coming off the blanket. You can adapt it or you can lose it, okay? Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Beautifully done. Inhale, exhale. And then stop. If you're on the floor, okay, then go ahead, get something under your knees. We're going to stay for Shavasana, okay? You can get something under your knees and you can come down. If you need a little roll under the neck, not under the head. This is not a good blanket that you want to rest in. That's where we spend most of our time. So if we put a little bit of a blanket or a pillow, a soft, easy pillow here, and let the head come back, we're keeping that curve. And you're just gonna let everything go. Okay, if getting down on the floor is difficult, okay, you'll notice I'm trying to be really good about keeping that well. Okay, a block, a pillow, a blanket, right? So that you can rest. It's on my thighs. Okay, this is not the same as the pushing back. This one is one where I want to be supported and I can just turn my head to one side and let everything go. So your face will be down and in. Mine, I'm gonna have my chin out so that you can hear me. Let the breath be long and slow. Let that breath expand and contract. Let it ebb and flow. I'm going to leave you here today. Stay a little longer. If you need to get up and get going, then I understand, but I just want to make sure it's just an hour. But I want you to think about the gifts, and not just gifts, but giving and receiving of gifts. And look for those people that are maybe trying to give you, and be an excellent receiver. That doesn't mean we accept gifts that are not gifts, that are meant to harm, that are meant as abuse. We do not need to receive those. In fact, those are ones we learn to protect ourselves against. But this means that when gifts are given, we accept, we become a grateful receiver. But as a giver, we also want to give gifts that are going to be something that help the person we give. So often I'll have ideas that come of gifts that I want to give, and I realize that that's something I want to do, not necessarily something that that person wants to receive. I hope that you have a fabulous week. Please reach out if you have any specific questions. With your mind, kind of just wander through your body. Find what the spine feels like, the rib cage feels like. What is it? What are the results of what you've done today? Receive. Maybe you're like, I couldn't do anything, Dara. Be grateful and receive the things you could do. And maybe you had an aha, oh my gosh, I never do that. Let yourself receive that and be okay with what you're able to give. I hope you have a wonderful day of love, of giving on Valentine's this next Sunday, and I'll see you next week. Namaste.